Welcome to Cackling in the Void.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Kaylee.
Let's see if the void echoes back today. So how was your vacation, Kaylee?
It was great. Not gonna lie. I had a really good time.
Good.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
Yeah, if you've
How
been
was
following...
your staycation, Ashley?
It was great. It was great. You know, I had a good time with the dogs and my fiance, and we had a great time. And I'm so happy you had a great time. Yes, if you've been following Kaylee on her Instagram or on her TikTok or anything, you've seen that she was in Iceland for a couple weeks. And so she just got back, and so we're very excited to see her back, and I've missed her. But don't tell her that.
I guess I've kind of missed you too, but it's whatever, okay? We don't talk about our feelings, because, yeah.
No, that's gross.
Ew, gross. Don't be a fucking loser. Okay.
But now we're talking about chapters 3 through 5 of Iron Flame. Is there anything you want to tell us about your vacation, Kaylee?
Not really, but if they don't shoot, Fourth Wings, like TV series or a movie or whatever type of thing that they're having, there on that island, or like just like there, or like around there, like on like the islands like surrounding it or whatever,
like in that location.
Yes, sorely mistaken, because it was so gorgeous, and I was like, only dragons could live here. Iceland made me want to put on like either like hiking gear just to be outside all the time, or like a really long flowy frilly dress so that I could run through the fields and meet elves and fairies. That's all I have to say about it.
How lovely.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. It was cold, but it was good. I loved it. I didn't think it was.
I'm so happy.
But I'm sure that certain people would think that it's cold.
I'm so happy you had a good time. You also said that the playgrounds were very, very nice.
Yes, the playground there were spectacular. Took my breath away. Can't beat trampolines and zip lines for public use.
That's wild.
I loved it. I loved every second of it.
That's wild. I've never seen a park here ever do that.
No, I don't think that we could have it here. I think that somebody's child would fall off either the zip line or the trampoline and get hurt, and somebody's parents would sue the city and they would be taken away.
How disappointing.
I mean, is that scenario wrong, though?
No, not at all. Welcome to the United States.
No.
Am I wrong?
No. It's okay.
Not saying we're happy about it.
No, we're definitely not happy about it, and, we support everybody who goes out and protests for our rights and things like that. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, we really appreciate you guys.
Also, everybody staying strong and keep fighting that good fight, and that's all we can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, speaking of fighting, would you like to get into chapter 3?
Yes, I think that that's a great transition to this. I want to say welcome to chapter 3. This is the non-spoiler side, so this is going to be the debrief. We'll still let you know when we start in on the spoilers.
Yes, and then the timestamp will be in the description.
Yes.
For when the spoilers start.
Yes, I agree.
So if you want to skip 2 spoilers, or you want to keep if you want to skip to the spoilers, or if you want to be aware of, hey, here's where the spoilers are, even though we say it, You never know.
Yeah, we say it so much.
We do. Are you ready?
Yes. So chapter 3 starts off with they are going back to Besgaeth after being
Yeah.
in Eratia. So
Mm-hmm.
they've decided to go back, and Violet is having a kind of an interesting conversation with Taryn, like right off the bat. And she is genuinely confused and doesn't necessarily understand why dragons would even bond humans. And Taryn kind of states they bonded humans to protect their young from both venom and griffins, but also humans as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And he says, like, the reason that they bonded them, like, where the dragons let people bond them was because people can make wards and dragons couldn't. And so they wanted the wards to be able to protect their young. And the first 6 humans that bonded the 6 dragons ended up creating the Empyrean.
yeah, which is so interesting that the dragonkind didn't have an Empyrean until humans were introduced into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the venom were that the venom still is, like, was and still is the biggest threat to the dragons, that they really wanted to do that, is so
Yeah.
interesting. And I wonder sometimes if the griffins feel the same way.
Yeah. Because, we saw that there are certain Griffin riders and Dragon riders that work together. We saw it with Zayden and everything, and it's. I want to get more of their story. I feel like that'd just be really interesting to kind of see their side of the thing. Like, how did that happen? But it is. I really like how they're talking about how and why the dragons and humans bonded together. But then, Taryn does say that neither species has been entirely truthful on both using each other for their own reasons.
I loved that he said it.
Yeah.
It made me so happy because I just want to state that, like, that was kind of an admission of both sides. I know, Ashley, I am so bored.
Damn it. I tried so hard.
She did, and it's okay. It's fine. I'm already back and boring Ashley to tears.
God damn it, man.
I am glad that Taryn stated that, because I think that is a very realistic statement. Because I don't think that humans would have bonded dragons or thought about it because of the fear behind dragons.
Yeah.
Because humans are prey. That is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They are prey to dragons.
Absolutely.
And so I'm sure there was a lot of fear going behind that. So you have to kind of think about it. Those 6 people were extremely brave to even want to, I guess, communicate with them to try to make a peace treaty. So that means, like, the venom are that big of a deal. Like, that brought literally everybody together.
Yeah. Yeah. Not wild. How interesting. And, so then they all do make it back to, oh my gosh.
Besgaeth.
Thank you. I was like, there's a name, and I keep wanting to say Eratia, and that's wrong. They get back to Besgaeth, and, then Zayden does tell her that human communication is not your strong suit, so we're gonna work on that while we learn how to shield, because you suck. And you know what? Very valid, sir.
I would agree. I'm not saying that his communication is all that or the most
No.
perfect or great or anything like that, but I do think that he has a point. Violet struggles with using her words sometimes now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. Yeah. And, so they kind of come up with this plan and, like, what they're gonna do, which they came up with while they were still in Eurasia, but now we get to see it enacted. And so Violet goes up to Liam's room and, like, is kind of looking around his room, and she finds little half-finished figurines on his bedside, which, ooh, that hit so hard this time around. Like, again, I was affected by Liam's death the first time, because, it's sad, like, but I'm just taking in so much information at once, but on this reread and knowing what to look out for, oh my gosh, the half-finished figurines. And, like, it kind of ties back into there's not going to be, like, little piles of wood anymore next to me, because, he would just whittle whenever they were hanging out.
I know, and I think that it's so sad. Half of me wishes that she would have given, like, a little bit more description about, like, what kind of half, like, wooded, like, sorry. How would you say that?
More description of how, like, the little wood pieces were?
No, more description of what was half whittled. Oh, whittled.
Oh,
that was
yes,
the word
yes,
I was
yes.
searching for.
There you
Okay,
go,
listen.
you got there.
Just because I'm sure that there were certain people's dragons that you could kind of start to tell were their dragons,
Yep.
But I also know that that's just me being super sentimental, which, is a thing, I guess. It's whatever.
But it is, like, I do wish, like, imagine we saw, like, Ree's dragon or something, and...
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so sad. It is really sad. Ugh. And both Ree and Riddick now know of Liam's death, because they kind of caught up to her in the halls, kind of going, where have you been? Like, we haven't seen you in 6 days, and wow, so much has happened in 6 days.
Yeah, especially because they probably have an entirely different side of a story, because they actually went and completed war games where Violet and her crew, I'm going to call it that for right now.
Yeah.
They fought an actual battle with real threats that not everybody knows about, is classified, and the reason why they went into Liam's room was to get the letters that Liam wrote to his sister. And as Violet is relieved to see Ree and Riddick, that anticipation of, well, what am I going to do now? How do I tell my best friend this without telling my best friend this? Do I lie? Am I okay with lying as I sit here and demand absolute truth from everybody else?
Yep. But I do somewhat understand why she, like, this is I see why Xaden kept it a secret, and I understand why she has to keep this part a secret. But she's being hypocritical. I agree.
I also think that, I mean, not gonna lie, it'd be hard to keep a secret like this from you. And I'm sure that you would feel the same way about me.
Yes. Because anytime something happens, I have, like, 3 people I run to, and you're, like, number 1. Like, I'm like, hold on. I need to go tell Kaylee.
But that's the same with me. And so it's like, when you have such a large secret and you are like, I can't tell them this, and if I do, they can either be killed
Mm-hmm.
or I'm going to be killed, branded as a traitor and killed. They're going to be
Mm-hmm.
branded as a traitor and killed, or just killed for knowing information
Yeah.
to get to her. And it's hard because now she's like actually seeing what Xaden has been going through almost. And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that she does need to make decisions on the spot. And they are both so relieved to see each other, and Riddick is there also very relieved to see them. But in that hall, she makes that split second of, I'm not going to be able to get back to my rooms before formation, and because Rhiannon and Riddick both came out of her door together, which
Yeah.
I
I love them so much.
I love it. But she does decide to give Liam's letters to Rhi because she does still trust her enough to be like, hey, can you do this for me? Do you think you could help me out? Do me a little favor and keep these letters safe and not let them get burned. And she openly says that. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because Ashley keeps yawning at me.
I'm so
But
sorry.
But she
It happens
openly
every time. I can
states-
tell. Go ask. I have not been yawning all day. I don't know what it is about. I think it might be the light.
No, it's really my beautiful shining face.
Yeah, you're gorgeous, Kaylee. You just
I
put me to
know.
sleep.
I am. It's okay.
You were saying.
That Violet does state that Rhiannon doesn't always, her family doesn't always conform to tradition.
Yes.
And they sometimes keep certain belongings and they don't burn everything. And so she knew that Rhiannon would be receptive to this.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it. It's really sad. Liam went 6 years without seeing his sister, and he died like 1 week before seeing her for the first time in 6 years. Because the new recruits come in, tomorrow?
Yeah.
And he dies 7 days before. That is so sad. The more I think about Liam, the more it is sad.
I agree that it is sad. But I think, me as a reader, it was necessary.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree.
The sacrifice was necessary.
I completely agree
move
with you.
And further the book along.
But I'm just saying, it is sad.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I do agree. Like, it was necessary for the plot, and I do agree, but it's still very sad. That
so sad.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, we find out that Violet is not talking to Xaden through the bond because she thinks it's too intimate right now. And I knew Kaylee would laugh at how I said that, but it does state it that way in the book in chapter 3.
Mm-hmm. You're right. She does say it like that. But I also love his response of, too intimate. I've literally seen you naked.
Literally. Literally. Yeah. And how he, they do end up talking, and, she does ask him, like, how long have you known about Brennan? And he admits, he's like, I've known since his death. His, death, in quotes. And she's
yes.
like, wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Also, at the same time, though, how could he not?
Yeah. His dad was part of the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
What did they used to call it? What did Liam call it?
When their parents were doing it, it was a...
God, I forget what it was called.
rebellion?
Was it a rebellion?
Well,
no, they called it the
it a...
revolution. And then
Well, now
LeVar called it the rebellion. They called it
Yes.
the revolution, but they also had another name for it.
Oh, it's a biblical term. I want to
Yeah.
call it the it starts with an EX.
Ugh. I forget, but I know what you're talking about. And it's fine.
I'm not going to be able to tell you. I'm not going to lie about it. I don't think that's where it's going to come back up. But I know that it starts with an EX.
Continue talking. Hold on.
It's interesting to note that she is so, I guess, like, taken aback that he knew. But at the same time, like we were saying, I'm not super surprised that he knew. The thing that I'm kind of like, they're talking about this and she's just still demanding these truths and things like that. And I love that Xaden does say, you should know me well enough to trust me, even if I can't give you the full truth.
Mm-hmm.
And she is immediately
Isn't
like,
very happy with that.
Yeah, not very happy with it, and is like, that's kind of a bullshit answer. And he's like, well, you didn't fall in love with an ordinary writer. You fell in love with the leader of the revolution.
Yeah.
Which kind of, I felt like I was like, okay, sir, laying it on real thick. Okay, little
yeah. No,
emo
seriously.
king.
And
like really
and,
melodramatic.
Yes, but I mean, it is Xaden, so what do we expect? He
I
is
know.
our emo dragon boy. And
Love it.
the reason they're on this topic was because Violet asks him, like, how do you do this? Like, how do you lie to the people you love? And she's like, it's not an attack. I need to know how to do it. This is really hard. I don't know how to keep this from them. And he's like, tell them half-truths. And, like, keep your distance. And, I mean, that is one way to do it. How
It's
did that
definitely
work out
one
for
way
Xaden?
to do it. I don't know if it's the right way to do it.
Oh, I agree with
but
that.
it's definitely one way to do it. I also just think that it's so interesting because, you know, he says something like that and she immediately turns around and says, you need to tell me the full truth. Like, you can't lie to me anymore. And he's openly stating, like, these are the reasons why I couldn't tell you. And I feel like in this instance, she's forgetting everything that she, like, can do to help them and can do to hurt them. And it's not that I don't think that Violet is going to be in the future an amazing shielder. It's not that I don't think that she's going to be able to do that. It's just right now she does not possess those skills and she still needs to work on those enough for Xaden to finally, like, give her these truths. But it seems, especially within this conversation, she does not understand that. She's just like, oh, it doesn't even matter if I am able to shield.
Yeah. Like, she really does think that she should have full disclosure, and she does state, she's like, hey, like, this isn't gonna work for me, I need full disclosure. Like,
Yeah,
and
and it, which is fine. She can do that. I think that she has every right to do that in her own relationship. But I also think that she's being slightly childish and not understanding that he's not holding it back because he is unwilling to tell her. He's holding it back because she is a legitimate threat to them.
yeah.
And not in a good way. Like,
No, literally. Yes. And it's
like,
yeah, I agree. And she's because once she learns how to shield, she can learn more.
absolutely. You are
That's
like
that's how this works. That's how this works.
exactly. You're going to sit here. I'm sorry. I think the reason why I find this little instance like the hardest part for me, because I am like, oh wow, she's just being really childish, is because literally at the end of the last book, you saw how your, unfortunately right now, inadequacies literally killed one of your best friends. And you're sitting over here and you're demanding this man to tell you absolutely everything.
Exactly.
And he knows that him telling you would give you the power to slaughter all of them. And the fact that you're sitting over here throwing a hissy fit and being a child about this isn't. It's crazy to me.
Yes,
It's
I agree.
absolutely crazy. Do I think
Yes.
that Zayden should have lied and like told her half-truths and like, been so secretive about it? No, of course not. Okay, I'm not saying that he's blameless in this, but I am saying there are two sides to this coin, and she's very blinded by only things that he did wrong, and is right now, I think, unable to recognize what's going on in herself because she can't sort herself out emotionally.
Yeah. And they're kind of just like walking, and they go and they find out, they walk to the, I want to say ceremony, but it's, oh my god, formation. They walk to formation. Yeah. And and they hear their names being called on the death roll, and they walk in, and Satan just goes, well, this is awkward.
I love how like dramatic he is, because like for some reason I this is what I imagine in my head. Well, this is awkward.
Yeah.
That is what I imagine. Like the gesture, the smolder, like the look at the end, like, oh.
And they better do this scene right in the show. Like, just well, this is awkward.
I think they're gonna do it. I think whoever writes the script, if
Rebecca.
like if yeah, thank you. If Rebecca is a part of the script, I think things are gonna be good. If she likes it and she's like all on board, I think it's gonna be good.
I think I'm excited to kind of see how this goes into a show, because it'd be fun to see. Because like when I read, I do get the visuals in my head. I know some people don't, but when I read, I do. Like, I get the visuals, so it's kind of like I'm watching a movie in my head, and so it'd be kind of fun to see how it correlates with an actual like film.
I agree. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm also excited for the graphic novel.
Ooh, yeah, the graphic novel.
Ooh, that's coming out. I don't know when, but I just know it is. Yeah. Well, that brings us to chapter 4. And Atos is reading the death roll, and not Dane Atos, his father.
Daddy Atos.
And I hate you so much.
I mean, you are in love with his son, Ashley.
I am, but that does not mean I'm in love with his dad.
That doesn't mean that you couldn't call him father later on in your life.
Ew. That's really funny. I hate it, but it's funny. And so he is shocked that they're there because, he's like, oh, you're alive? Like, just shocked. Kaylee is broken. That's okay. And, they're just kind of going on about how they really thought that this group was dead. And Violet sees her mom standing up there and sees, like, this joy and pride and relief that her daughter is alive. You okay, Kaylee?
I am great. But also just to note that this is probably like the first instance that Violet's mom has ever been kind of proud of her.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And Atos is like, what? Like, they deserted their post. They're lying, and like saying all of this. And this is so funny that he wants to get them for desertion.
Literally, I was like, they're alive. They're right here. And I mean, the point was made. How can you call it desertion if we showed up? Like,
I know, right?
I'm confused about how you're gonna say that this is desertion when we are here right now.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Please explain yourself. I am confused. And Xaden goes up to the stage to explain the story, but what they said is they got there, they were attacked by griffins, and then they made the decision to fly back. But Violet got hurt in the process. And then Liam passed away. Like, two people in their quadrant died, or in their squad died.
Yeah.
And then Violet was hurt, so they couldn't fly straight home, because they were just trying to fix her.
Yeah. It is like a very obviously believable lie.
Mm-hmm.
Because technically the Griffins were there at that outpost.
Yeah.
They didn't lie about that. They did go into battle with the Griffins.
The Griffins.
And Violet did get hit by a poison dagger and could have died. And that prevented them from coming back. So,
yeah.
Those half-truths.
And half-truths are, like, half-truth lies are the easiest to, like, keep the story consistent.
I would
Something
absolutely
that is
agree.
Just about the truth is the easiest to make more believable because you have an actual story to back it up. It just, you're maybe not telling every detail.
Exactly. And it was so interesting that right after Xaden states this to, the entire crowd, because they're in formation, so everybody's fucking hearing this.
Yeah.
Atos is like, we gotta separate them. We gotta know.
Like, going insane.
And, General Sorengale turns to Atos and is like, I'm sorry, did you empty out a critical outpost for war games? And his response was like, Yeah, because Xaden gave, kept the missive, like the note, and like gave it to them as evidence that this is also another reason like why like this kind of happened like this, that we were given a choice to either stay and fight or be, you know, branded as like traitors and deserters and stuff like that. And she, you know, she's kind of like laying into him like, are you, like, did you really do that? Like, that seems crazy. And his thing was like, well, you said war games were at my discretion. And I love her response was, well, it seems to me like your discretion lacked common fucking sense.
Yep.
And we're gonna talk after this. And
they
like,
call Violet up on stage to
mm-hmm.
kind of say the story again, but from a, in quotes, more believable source. And, you know, so Violet goes up, says pretty much word for word the exact same thing, and Atos just goes, she's lying! They're both lying! And, like, really he's having, like, a breakdown over here in the corner. And General Sorengale just looks at him and goes, don't call a Sorengale untruthful. Yeah.
I did love it because she was very much like, how dare you? How dare you think that a Sorengale would actually lie? Like, you should know better.
Yeah. So that's what we do. I do like seeing her in this scene. Like, it's really fun to see her standing up for her daughter rather than just kind of going like, ugh.
I was gonna say, this is the most hands-on we have ever seen her with Violet.
Yeah. And, you know, Violet, you know, she looks back at Xaden, and Xaden looks at her and goes, I openly chose to save your daughter. That is why we are late. Because she was poisoned by the poison dagger.
And I think that that's such a big, bold statement to be like, hey, by the way, you can bitch at us all you want, but I also, you know, fucking saved your kid, so back the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, literally. And, you know, so Violet, they're kind of just, you know, really making sure that they're believed because they know exactly what's going to happen if they actually find out what happened. And, you know, Violet's mom does say, maybe you're more like me than I gave you credit for.
Which I think is crazy for her to say because, like, for the longest time, we've always, like, through the entire first book and, like, a lot throughout these chapters, even in, like, the second book, like, and we're already, like, what? 4 chapters in, and I'm pretty sure that multiple people have already called her weak. Has already called her fragile, frail.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. And so it's like, it's so interesting to finally see her mom be like, hey, I'm kind of proud of you, and maybe we are a lot more like than I gave you credit for, because I always thought that you were meek, fragile, frail, spineless, you know, that you were like your father in terms of frailness, in terms of needing to be protected, in terms of things like that.
Yeah. So I think it was probably really, really, really nice for Violet to hear that in that moment. Like, and especially her needing that reassurance in the moment as well. Like, that was a very stressful, you're in front of the entire quadrant, in front of 2 generals that, I mean, run the entire school. Having that small reassurance from your mom probably really, who never reassures you, is probably very nice.
I'm sure it was.
And, they're leaving and everybody's kind of dismissed, and Atos kind of pulls them aside and is like, "You're not going to get away with this." And both of them are kind of like, "Get away with what? Is there something that we're not being told about in battle briefs?" And is like poking fun at him, like, "Oh, like, is that, what's happening? Like, is there something beyond the words we need to be more scared of than the Griffins?" And kind of like, insinuating he knows they're full of shit. They know he's full of shit. So now they're just kind of butting heads about it. But
I also love that they very much stated, you can't expose what you think that the truth is without telling us. You know that, right? Like, you know that you're going to have to say it first for us to say yay or nay.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless, if you do say it, it's going to sound a little crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's... Yeah. So they just are poking fun. And it's... I really like... I don't like Atos as a person because he's shitty and not a good person, but I do like him as a character. I think it's really fun to see the dynamics of the butting heads and the like high ranking officer versus these little cadets just going at each other. I think it's really funny.
I also think that it's fun to see them really play the cat and mouse game. Like you were saying, like, it's fun to hear them have a little bit more power than they've had previously. It's also like so interesting because as this interaction is going on, like, General Atos looks at Violet and says, "You are a fucking disappointment." Like, she was supposed to stand up there and say that they're wrong and that they're traitors and that you need to kill them.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "You're a fucking disappointment." And then their rebuttal to that was, "Well, if you really think that we're lying, you could ask General Melgren what happened." But he knows that he can't ask him because 3 or more marked ones were together and he can't see the outcome.
Because if there's 3 or more, Melgren can't see the outcome. So there goes his one way to prove it or not.
Exactly. And so it's a fun game to see them playing. And like you said, don't like him as a person, but he's a fun character, and I think he's like a fun antagonist, kind of like grumpy old man to add into it.
Yeah, because we have Taran, the lovable old man. We need a crotchety old man.
I know, right? Just gotta balance it out.
Yeah. And so they go back, and then they're released back to formation, and who do they run into? But my favorite character, Dane Atos. And he... and he kind of runs over to her like, "Oh my gosh, Violet, are you okay?" And he immediately goes...
lunges for her face.
Yes, immediately. And she yells very loudly so everybody can hear, "Touch me and I swear to gods I will cut your fucking hands off." And he just stands there so shocked.
I mean, the fact that he is shocked is shocking to me. Like, it seems like he's actually legitimately dumbfounded. Like, he is caught so far out of left field. And I'm like, "Sir, you knew this. You knew it." And also, I think Violet was right to ask, like, "Did you know?"
Yeah.
Did you know what was waiting? And he said, "I can't really confirm or deny it," basically. Which confirmed that he knew what was probably going to happen. Yeah. Also, I just think that, like, I love Xaden's response I wonder how this is gonna go. Like, like we've let you handle Atos this entire
Mm-hmm.
time, and guess how that fucking turned out. So maybe you should let me handle it. And she's like, I got it, I got it, I got it. And then it happens, and he's like, violence. Should have known. Classic. I should have
Yeah,
died.
like he's
I don't know what I expected, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is, although I love him, it is nice to see her finally, like, she's been trying to set those boundaries and he's just kind of been stopping on them over and over and over. So it's nice for her to, like, shove the boundaries into the ground and be like, no, like, stop touching me. Like,
Absolutely.
you need to get away from me. Because, like, throughout book 1, she was like, hey, like, we need space. You lunged for my face. Never do that again. Like, and she does. She puts down those boundaries, but he steps on them and steps on them. So it is really, really, really nice to see him cemented.
I would agree. It is very nice to see them finally cemented. And then also, like, not only that, but for her to actually stick with it and not be like, don't touch me or I'm going to cut off your fucking hands, and then immediately hug him after.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of like certain types of behaviors that we did see in the previous book, that she was like, oh, like, if you could really not do that, like, that's kind of like makes me like super uncomfortable. And then now all of a sudden she's like, no, absolutely not, touch me again and I'll fucking kill you. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, thank God, finally, because somebody needs to tell him, because he literally killed your friends.
Yeah, literally. And, then Zayden goes and she's like, I do. And then, Zayden's like, you need to take her at her word because, and if you don't, I'll take personal offense. She made her choice and it wasn't you. Like, everybody knows it, man. I know it, she knows it, you know it, the Quadrant knows it. Like, everybody knows it. I don't know why you're so slow to this. And, she... And he's like, what? Well, what are you going to do to me? Are you going to threaten to kill me, Ryerson? And he's like, oh no, she's perfectly capable of doing that herself. Like, but, and that should be enough to keep your hands to yourself. But in case it's not, every time you think of reaching for her face, I want you to remember one word. And then he just goes, Athbean. And Dane stiffens and his face goes pale.
Mm-hmm.
And then Satan's like, no response. Interesting.
I laugh and I giggle because I know Zayden is an asshole, but I love it.
I mean, he did almost get killed because of this child.
For sure, definitely. And this child did, kill his close friends. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Zayden was close to Soleil. Zayden was close to Liam. Zayden was close to all of the marked ones. And Zayden has openly stated that, like, the marked ones are, like, his, I don't know, charges, siblings, whatever.
Oh,
like,
they're under his
responsibility.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Like, what a mic drop. Like, I love, like, once again, I'm gonna say it. I love how, like, moody and edgy this boy is.
He's our emo dragon boy.
I love this emo dragon boy. He's very cute. We like it.
I also really, really love how Nadine was like, wow, that's hot, but love triangles can be so exhausting.
I kind of agree with her. Like, damn, that was kind of hot to see because, like, it is, but also, damn, this is getting exhausting, guys. Just sort your shit out.
I know, literally.
Like, everybody already knows. Like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to become uncute.
Yes, I agree. And now, all of the third years are now lieutenants.
Mm-hmm.
They made it. They made it out of the quadrant.
They made it out of the quadrant. And it's interesting because as they're announcing that people are becoming lieutenants, and like the second years are now third years, and the first years are now second years, and there's a lot of like this almost like relief and elation like from the crowd. But in Violet's head, she's like, maybe this place is exactly what the Griffin said. Maybe it is just a death factory. Maybe we shouldn't be as relieved. Maybe we should, have that kind of apprehension. But at the same time, she's like, letting that go, because she knows that this night is like probably the last night she's going to see, a lot of the third years, that became lieutenants, or, you never know who's going to die next year out of the second years and the third years now. Like, now that everybody's moved up, because they've gotten so close to these certain second years that are now third years, you don't know who's going to die, who's going to make it out, who's going to die in their class, because only 5 people from their squad, first years from their squad, made it through. And that's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, I mean, if we go back and like really think about it, I mean, we did meet a lot more characters, and they are no longer here.
And they're no longer here because, they're still alive and they're just not that important for her to write about. They're dead. They're not alive. It's not that they're not, quote unquote, important enough for her to write about. They're non-existent anymore. So how can she write about that?
Yeah. Because I feel like all of the characters, like, yes, there's obviously characters that were not as prevalent as, like, Riddick, Bree, Sawyer. But I mean, if she introduced the characters, I feel like we actually did get to know them fairly well. Before they passed. So, like, obviously they're side characters. You're not going to know how much you know about Violet or Zayden or Ree or Riddick or something, but like Ree and Riddick are side characters, but like A side characters, like the B side characters, you're not going to get to know as much as the other characters, but I mean, you still got their personality when they talked and hung out and stuff. So then, that brings us to chapter 5. Wow.
I know. We're at chapter 5.
Chapter 5. Wow.
And chapter 5 kind of opens up of them, now that they've left formation, it is openly stated that this is a fucking party. People have like 2 days off to get drunk and to fucking party, and you better enjoy it, basically. And they're kind of just talking
in like 2 days, it's right back to work.
Right back to classes, right back to training. Now they're probably going to be now they're the ones intaking the first years. They're going to go do gauntlet. Like, they're going to watch people do gauntlet. They're going to, have a lot more serious things to talk about. But right now, they're kind of just laughing and shooting the shit and being like, hey, what are you most excited about for next year? And Riddick openly says, hey, I heard that they're going to lift the ban for us to be able to go into the town. And I'm super excited about that, because I'm ready to date somebody that isn't you guys, because the dating pool is getting really fucking small and a little incestuous at this point, because it is so small.
I love him so much. He's so funny. He's always there if you need a good laugh. And that makes me really scared about normally all the funny characters are the ones that have a really tragic backstory.
No. But I also I love him for him, and I also love that he's so honest about it. He's just like, damn, I'm so kind of done dating you guys. Like,
yeah.
Just like looking forward to something new.
Yeah. And, kind of Violet's sitting there and it's like, oh, like, all the things they're talking about. Oh, like, I'm not gonna have kitchen duty anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm
Mm-hmm.
never gonna scoop a pile of potatoes again. And, they're all just laughing about it. And, Violet just comes to the realization that she's never gonna push a library cart with Liam again.
Yeah. And that's kind of crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm. And then Violet is joined by Imogen and Quinn and them, and, Riddick and Sawyer and Rhea are all kind of like grilling them, like, oh, what happened? Like, can you give us details of what happened? Like, you guys were gone for a long time. Like, it must have been some insane battle. Like, what went down? And, Imogen just kind of chimes in and is like, oh, without Violet and Xaden, we'd all be dead. Because she's trying to, she knows Violet doesn't really know how to redirect a conversation like that quite yet. She's new to it. And so she's like, okay. And I really do love that compliment from Imogen, because again, we don't really see that dynamic between Violet and Imogen yet.
Absolutely. And I love that she was able to step up and say that, but then not only that, the rebuttal was, it wasn't fucking fun, and this wasn't a walk in the park, and it was fucking scary, and we all fucking hated it.
Yeah.
And like that also to be like the big harsh reality of it, when you are basically like put into this school and told that, oh, war's gonna be easy, there's nothing's gonna go wrong, if you just stick to the formations, nobody's gonna die because, dragons can't be killed. Like, the biggest like argument that like Atos had was, well, griffins can't kill dragons, and so for that to be like such a reality of the situation, and for Imogen to be so realistic about it, like, hey, this wasn't a cakewalk and we all hated it and it's not fucking fun, and without them we would have died, we would have all been dead and nobody would have ever came back and you guys wouldn't have been getting the story, I think was very realistic. And I love her for that. I love her for keeping that, like, the realism alive, almost.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Because it's, especially when you're, like, I've never been to war, you have never been to war, and, most of the people that I talk with on a daily basis have never been to war. And so we read about it, we watch movies, we watch TV shows about war and all of these things happening, and you can comprehend, wow, this is really shitty, but you don't comprehend it until you're there. Like, you don't fully realize how bad it is until you've actually done it. And so her really, like you said, bringing that reality of, it was fucking terrible. Don't know what else you wanted to hear. It was shitty and awful. Like, it wasn't fun. Because, it's glamorized in a lot of societies.
But also, like, not only that, it's very clearly glamorized where they're at. They're at a war college. These kids are...
Yes, exactly.
These kids are just here to learn to go to war. Like, and also not only that is they are, like, told, like, oh, when you go to war, like, you're gonna get promoted. Like, there's gonna be more opportunity. The better you are at this, the better you are at slaughtering innocents and slaughtering other things. You're gonna be promoted and rewarded for how ruthless you are.
Yeah.
This isn't like, oh, this isn't fun and we're so sorry that you guys have to go and do this, and like, it's this is an honor to do this. And like, not gonna lie, like, that's how like the real world works too. Like, we like break it down and think about what's going on and how militaries are ran and stuff like that. And I'm not saying anything specific, I'm just saying that the ideology is similar,
very similar. Yeah. And it might not be, obviously we don't have dragons or anything cool in this world, but it is similar in that sense. I agree with that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And, you know, kind of along the same lines, Quinn and Imogen are just telling them, like, don't get close to the first years, like, especially not until after threshing. Let them bond to their dragons first, because once they have a dragon, okay, maybe they'll have more of a chance of living at least than before that. Because, I mean, we saw so many people die before threshing. Even in presentation, when they were just walking through after Gauntlet.
And then not only that is we saw people die during threshing.
Mm-hmm. They walked up to the wrong dragon at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm. Or fell off the dragon on their way to
the flight field.
Yeah, to the flight field. And not only
even
that,
once you bond your dragon, you could still die. Like, there's so many.
Yes.
Like, so they very much were like, do not talk to, like, don't get close with them until after. And, you know, then Xaden walks by, or they see Xaden across the hall, and so Xaden is standing at the door, and Violet sees him kind of like nod his head towards the door, kind of indicating, hey, can you come over here for a second? And so she goes, I'll be right back. And Riddick goes, I certainly hope not, or you'll destroy all my fantasies when it comes to that one.
I love it. I love it so much.
It's so good. It's so good. And they are all so drunk.
Yeah, I was like, just the fact that, like, they're a little intoxicated and they're all having fun. And I love the fact that Riddick is like, you're not going to be back soon, because if he finishes that quickly, I'm going to be upset about it.
Yep. I love him. It's perfect.
Man, I really do.
And I also really like seeing them in a neutral plane. For, like, you know, not... I don't need it to go for that long. For, like, the neutral, like... Or even, like, good plane. This isn't neutral. This is exciting. Like, we did it. We graduated. Let's celebrate. We haven't...
Yes.
Like, there's up and downs throughout the entire book. But we haven't seen them kind of be up in a little bit because of the last...
Yeah.
You know, the climax of the last book.
I mean, I also agree, like, not only that is, like, they kind of start and end their day, like, with a death roll, and so this is, like, such a rare occasion that they're actually, like, partying, that they're having a good time, that, like, you know, they're drinking alcohol and it's gonna be okay, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, so then Violet and Xaden are talking, and they find out where he's stationed, and he's stationed far. And she's like, oh, like, when are you gonna leave? And he's leaving earlier than most people, but that's just kind of how he does things.
But he also did it because the newer wing leaders want to move in the fastest.
Yeah. That too. They like to move their shit in as soon as they can. And, you know, he does, and he's like, you're drunk. Like he says it in such, like, you're drunk. Like, confused, but yet, like, kind of looking down on her, like he wouldn't also be going and getting drunk with her if he had the opportunity, if it was just them two. I don't think he'd get drunk if it was, like, drunk if it was with everybody, but with them two, yeah. I feel like he would.
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah. So, like, he just looks like, you're drunk. And her response of, I'm pleasantly fuddled, but not entirely slushed. I'm like, what?
Loved it.
Yeah.
So, that's a valid state of being, you know?
Is it now, Kaylee?
Yeah, I think so. You're not, like...
I mean, it is.
You're, like, you're, like, tipsy, but you're a little bit more than tipsy, but you're not, like, sloshingly drunk.
Yeah.
Like, makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that it's a valid state of being.
Yeah. And so they ended up having a full conversation kind of about the lying again. And, she's like, well, when are you going to tell me these things? And he's like, well, you need to have the guts to ask for the answers you want. Because she's not asking him questions.
Mm-hmm.
He's just kind of accusing her. Wait. She's just kind of
She's just
accusing him.
accusing him. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do like how Xaden can call her out on that, and how this book is not afraid to call out the female main character on her problems.
I agree. I think that sometimes in certain series, it happens a lot where the guy is just there to be like, all your feelings are valid, even if you're fucking wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's
We've
okay.
read plenty of books.
It's okay,
like
but
it.
I agree to that statement that Ashley made. I like that he can call her out on her shit as well, and that she calls him out on his shit as well, because I think that it makes it a little bit more realistic and understanding that this isn't perfect.
Yeah, and he continues to call her on her shit and is like, confidence isn't arrogance, man. Like, we're both allowed to have boundaries. You're not the only one that is able to, like, set the rules in this relationship. If I say I don't want to share something, I don't need to, because I can set boundaries as well, which go off.
Which I love, because what is a relationship without both sides having boundaries?
Nothing.
People are going to get more hurt,
a one-sided building,
more upset, and more of all of the things.
Yeah. And, they end up running into Atos, and he gives them, like, the letters of, okay, you both can leave your post for 2 days every 14 days. So they can only see each other
every fortnight.
on the weekends. No, well, they see each other every week, but they leave every fortnight. So they go back and forth. And so the Xaden and Violet are kind of like, hey, like, Taryn and Sigale aren't gonna like that. They don't bend their wills to humans. Like, they don't listen to humans. Like, do you not understand? This is not under our control. They can't go more than 3 days. And Taryn, you just hear him. He's mad.
I mean, rightfully so, sir. Rightfully so. But also, you look at Coda and his mate that can go, what, like a month without seeing each other or something?
Who's Coda again?
The other big black dragon.
Oh, yeah.
They've been mated, like Taryn openly states that, like, Coda and his mate have been mated for like 40 or 50 plus more years than they have been.
Like, yeah, because they've been mated, I think, 50 years now? So yes. They've been mated probably 100, so.
Yeah. So maybe the tolerance has been built up because of that. But.
And Atos does say to them, secrets die with the people who made them.
So, that's the end of chapter 5. That's the end of the spoilers, this free section. It ends with them, getting the different posts.
Which is crazy, but also not crazy because it's her, so,
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And so, now we'd like to give the heads up warning. Spoiler section ahead. We'll be going into full book spoilers and our predictions for the series after it's been released. Like, after what's been released. So that includes end of book 3 spoilers and all of the things. So here you have been warned. Spoilers.
Yes, spoiler section. It's so interesting. Like, I think that we should just like start off like right off the bat that they needed the humans to make the Empyrean, but it
Yeah.
didn't seem like they really needed the humans for anything else besides to help like protect their young and stuff.
Yes, it is very interesting that they needed the 6 humans to create the Empyrean. Like, what? Was there no dragon law before? Like, how did that work?
But also the fact that they did it
And also,
to protect their young.
yeah. But also, I guess it makes sense, this was a dumb question, but why did they need the Empyrean to be with the humans? Does that make sense?
Maybe,
like, why did they need
yeah.
the Empyrean and have all of a sudden a set of new laws to be with humans? And I get it, I mean, it's a very different dynamic if you're bonding humans, but why? And also how they go in saying, like, oh, neither one is being entirely truthful on either side. I full-heartedly believe at least some of the dragons are evil. They have to be. And not like the stereotypical evil, like, you know, Jack's dragon or Varish's dragon. Not those type of evil, but I mean, like, evil. Like, something that corrupt.
I mean, okay, here's the thing, is like, if you think about it, 6 dragons like bonded humans. And how many dragons are there actually?
Like, in total?
Yeah, in total.
Is that a given number?
Well, not like, oh, how many dragons are there in total? Like, we know, obviously we're on the spoiler section, so I can say this, that Andarna is an Irid.
Oh!
And
yes.
so, like, wouldn't that be, like, the quote-unquote 7th kind? Or is that the 6th kind, and there's only 5 there?
Oh.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
I believe that's the 7th kind, because remember at the end of this book, they talk about there being a 7th breed.
Perfect, thank you. That's what I wanted to clarify. So it's
You're
interesting to... it's interesting to see that, like, the 7th kind really was not a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
like, it never was.
Yeah, but why do you only need 6 dragons?
And also, why did the 7th breed not want to be a part of it?
I find it so interesting because they are considered the 7th breed that they didn't want their eggs protected.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this chapter, like in like this segment, it kind of makes it seem like the only reason why dragons even bonded humans was because they wanted a little extra protection because of the wards.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted extra protection for their young.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious. I do not think that's the only reason, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really curious
to see what the other reasons are.
Yeah, and I really hope we get a bit more of dragon lore in book 4. Because I feel like we're starting to get there in book 3, and I'm hoping it just kind of rips off the band-aid in book 4, and then book 5 is like, oh shit, this isn't a war against the Venom, this is a war against the dragons. Or both.
I agree. I'm excited.
I'm so excited. And then, the other thing that I wanted to bring up was how Xaden kept saying, like, I can't be entirely truthful, like, you know, like, I can't be entirely truthful with you, I just can't. And, you know, there's so many different things now that we know is, like, the intrinsic, him being an intrinsic, the deal with her mother that he, you know, that he mentioned, that is mentioned after she is tortured. And
yes,
that also played into how Xaden tells Sorengale, General Sorengale, how he chose to save her daughter instead of, you know, leaving. Like, I chose to save your daughter. Like, looking her straight in the face. He knew what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
He knew. But then not only that is like going into like the things of like, oh, there's some things that I can't tell you. Like, for instance, the fact that he was kind of fucking engaged to Kat for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and how he like was going to marry her for the forge, and like there's a lot more that
There's so
is
much.
just, like
There's
a
so much,
little
and
bit
that's just like
left out.
this, like what we know. Like, think of how much more there might be.
Oh my
Like, one of
gosh, I
them, what if, like, if we are going with the dragons or evil route, there's no way Xaden wouldn't know
Mhm.
from Sigale, because I believe Sigale is evil.
Whoa, that's crazy.
You agree with me?
I mean, it's
Maybe
not
not fully. I
that.
feel like she at least knows both sides. And she kind of flip flops between what she wants, depending on what kind of
Yeah,
benefits her and
I
Taryn the most. And
I
Andarna.
do think
And
that
Xaden.
she is ruthless in terms of she's going to fight for what she wants, and she's going to get what she wants, and she's not going to sacrifice any of the people that she loves to get it. She's going to get it
Mm-hmm.
because she's going to sacrifice everybody else around them, not
Yeah.
because they are not with her.
Yeah. So I think that it could go. I think she
I think that
knows
the
more what's
Empyrean
going
is
on than
evil.
Taryn.
I
Oh,
think that the
absolutely.
Empyrean is evil, and if we're gonna say that, like, whose dragons are good or bad, I do think that it could lean towards, if anybody is going to be out of that pair, Ashley is correct, and that it would be Sigale
Mm-hmm.
that turns.
And I just think, yeah, because I don't believe that she's fully evil. Maybe.
Mhm.
But I believe,
Maybe.
like I said, she could kind of in between. Kind of like whatever
Mhm.
benefits her, like whatever she wants, she gets. And that could be leaning more towards the good side. That could be leaning more towards, you know, the evil
Yeah.
side. So I think it's because you can't tell me that there are evil humans and not evil dragons.
Absolutely. Like, I agree with
Like,
that statement.
they are way too
Mhm.
sentient for that. Like,
Yes.
I feel like it's literally smacking us in the face. Like, there are dragons that are protected under this belief, and then there's the
Mhm.
ones that know the truth.
Yeah. Like, why did the seventh kind not really want to go? And like,
And we're told that it's because they thought that there was, like, they didn't like war as an answer.
yeah, that they were pacifists,
Mm-hmm.
and that they didn't want to be involved because they're pacifists. And I think that that is kind of a bullshit fucking answer. I think that
Mm-hmm.
there's something more to it
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
like, they're not telling us or letting on. I also just find it so interesting, like, the way that Xaden, like, phrases certain things about, like, oh, like, you should know me enough to trust me now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
first of all, do you even know her?
But also, you just did completely unspin her entire life. You were technically lying to, like, a big lie to her for a long time. Like, even if she believes you, even if all these things, it's gonna take time.
Yes, but also at the same time, he doesn't really know her and she doesn't really know him. And I think that
Exactly.
this big blind trust that they're both telling each other that they need to have for each other is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm like,
No, I
both of
agree.
you guys are fucking wrong, and I hate it.
I agree.
Like,
And
both of you are wrong.
mm-hmm. And also, I thought it was really, 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 really interesting how when Violet's mom tells her, "Oh, you're more like me than I gave you credit for." We see it in the recovered correspondence through her parents, throughout book
Mm-hmm.
3, Violet's parents, that she did think of him, like, her as her dad. And, like, oh, that means she's more of a pacifist, maybe? But also, I feel like her dad wasn't a pacifist. So it's just very interesting, and I need to reread that to fully finalize my thoughts on this. But
Yeah.
I know that her big thing is I was protecting you. I was protecting you. I was protecting your brother, and I was protecting your sister. You loser.
And I just don't know if the protection thing is, I don't know, a good enough reasoning for me. I'm not gonna lie about it, because like I understand the idea of like a mom really wanting to protect their child.
Max, you're making all of the noises. Okay. You are so bad for this podcast. You are awful. But I do think it's interesting, and I want to reread the book 3, like, correspondence between them, because I want to see what was said specifically with the knowledge of, oh, maybe she is more like me than I thought, because of the, oh, I was trying to protect them. I believe at this moment, she knows this entire thing is bullshit. She knows they know the truth.
Absolutely.
And so I'm curious if she was referencing you're more like me than I thought you were because she sided the right way. And she was trying to side the right way, but ended up kind of failing at it.
I don't know if it's the siding the right way, or if it's the you're more like me than I thought because I didn't think that you'd keep your fucking mouth shut about it. I thought that you would come up here and say, Venin, Venin, Venin. And I'd have to slaughter you in front of everybody. But
what if that's what
because you kept your mouth fucking shut, which is what I did to raise through the ranks and to be at this station and to protect my family. I think it's more of like that. I think that it's that, not
because I think that both her and Asher were on the same side, just in a very different way.
Lilith
and her husband.
Okay, yes. I do think that like as like a united front, as like a married couple, I think they did have very similar views and did talk a lot about it. Because I don't think that the decision to stay in Besgaiath and in that space was taken lightly. I think that this was like a very big thing, and half of me thinks that Lilith took the brunt of it because she was in the writer's side. I think that they did it because of Asher.
Because he needed the information that he was getting, and he wouldn't have gotten it anywhere else. But also, did they figure it out after Brennan died because they went looking for him? And they actually found him, but then they said, we get it, we'll keep our mouth shut.
I don't know.
I want to know all of these things so badly.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, because Brennan makes it seem like they've never found him.
That's true.
But
also, would he give that up? So then, because, well, I mean, they do meet each other again later in this series.
Yeah.
So we'll see then how that discussion goes, because I think that will kind of be the teetering point of, like, how is he reacting to seeing her? What does he say? Does it seem off?
I agree.
I'm so glad. And did you want to talk about the Death Factory?
I do, because I think that it's interesting, because this isn't the first time that the Griffin writers have called Besgaiath, like this war college, a death factory. They say it multiple times. And not only that, is it does make sense, because they're literally going there for war and then to be like pumped out and to be killed. Like, they are like, what is the need to have a quote unquote college for this, and not just like and every once in a while like training camp that goes up, like this is like they are pumping out soldiers year after year after year after year after year. And how long has Bethskaya been running?
Yeah, we don't know
More
that
than
either.
I would say more than 50 years.
Yeah.
So if these people are literally pumping out soldiers every year for even 100 years, because actually, you know what? It might have started when the Imperium was formed, and that was what, 600 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
So for 600 years, every year, these people have been basically making a never-ending army.
Yeah.
So of course it's literally a death factory, which I also love that phrase. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Death
It's
Factory.
cool.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
It's pretty
And
fucking cool. Okay.
it is pretty cool, and it is. But I do agree with you. Like, why do they need that much?
Mm-hmm. And also, like, it's stated in, like, you know, the third book that when griffins bond riders, that their riders just they fall into the lake and they can swim to the shore and try again next year.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to get slaughtered for this.
Yeah,
Where,
and
like,
also the griffins die when
mm-hmm.
the human dies. It's not just if the or if the dragon dies, the human dies, but the dragon can go on living.
Yeah. Which is very interesting.
Mm-hmm. 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 I agree. And then the beginning excerpts of these two chapters we found very interesting. The first one, maybe I should go to chapter 4 first, so I'm not going out of order.
Yeah.
So, the first one is, as dragons ferociously guard their young, and so sorry. So sorry. My brain, I sped along. As dragons ferociously guard both their young and any information regarding their development, only 4 facts are known about the dreamless sleep. First, it is a critical time of rapid growth and development. Second, the duration varies from breed to breed. Third, as the name suggests, it is dreamless. And fourth, they wake up hungry.
I find that so interesting because, you know, it's good that they put it here in this chapter because we're going to see Andarna tackle the dreamless sleep now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really interesting that it varies from breed to breed because, you know, she's not one of the 6 breeds that they know about. Yeah. So how is her sleep going to look differently than how anybody else's sleep did, you know?
And it's also really interesting how it is dreamless. I feel like it's interesting how it is dreamless and how that ties in book 3 when we find out about Violet's second and fucking power thing.
Her second signet?
Yeah, that. Thank you. That. How she's a dreamwalker. And how how they didn't know what was happening in the dreamless sleep, and how hers was, and how Andarna's was a bit different, and then Violet's a dreamwalker. And it does state because of the dreamless sleep, because she needed to know what was happening during the dreamless sleep.
Possibly. I think that it is interesting to see how, like, this could vary for her, especially because she is a, you know, different type of dragon. I think that there's going to be, like, main instances that are going to be the same. I think that she's going to wake up hungry. I do think that she's going to grow rapidly. And I think that those are the only 2 that are going to, like, ring true and consistent for Andarna.
Yeah.
So really interesting to kind of, like, think about and, like, to be like, oh, how interesting that they openly state that it is dreamless. Like, why
Mm-hmm.
do they?
And how do you
Why do
know
they
that?
need it? Yeah. Why do you know? Like, how do you know that?
What
Like,
a
who
random
told
piece of
you?
information to have. Like, why is it so important that it's dreamless?
Mm-hmm. Is it because it's uninterrupted? Is it because it's uncorrupted? Like,
Mm,
by, like, outward forces?
yeah. So that's really interesting, and I hope we get a bit more information on the dreamless sleep, because
Mm-hmm.
it's just so, like, we don't, like, I mean, Violet doesn't know about it, so we don't know much about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, the fifth, oh wait, I already had it pulled up. The fifth excerpt is, after 3 consecutive deaths of prisoners during his interrogations, it is this command's opinion that Professor Varys should be reassigned from an active wing until further notice.
That's
Wild.
that is so much foreshadowing
It's so
into
there.
this book. It's
Mm-hmm.
right there about how ruthless, cruel, and basically fucking insane this man is, that they were like, you know what? You cannot be part of active duty because you are, like, fucked in the head. You need to
Yeah. And
go
also,
somewhere else.
and also how it blatantly says, oh, like, during his interrogations. Like, it's right there. They're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
interrogated throughout this book.
Yeah. Which I also think is kind of crazy that they were like, oh yeah, you're so crazy that we couldn't have you on the front lines to do this to our enemies, so we're just gonna send you to a school.
Right? Isn't that weird? I do
Like,
believe Atos picked him.
I think that Atos picked him for Dane. I think that, like, as cruel as it sounds, I think that, I mean, you do kind of see it in this book that, like, he worked very, like, Atos, like, Dane worked very closely with Varys. Like, they had private
Mm-hmm.
lessons. Because
Yeah.
Varys mentions it, that they had private lessons, and I think that, like, General Atos did it for Dane to try to make him similar to Varys.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Because Atos has, if he became like Varys with the ability to read minds, he would
Mm-hmm.
be unstoppable.
Absolutely. And not only that, you know, could gain valuable detail and, like, well, valuable intel from any enemies that they ever captured.
Mm-hmm. That's scary.
Scary.
Scary, scary. But now that the book, I feel like, is slightly starting to pick up, I'm very excited for next week's episode to kind of talk about what happens in the next chapters.
Absolutely. I'm very excited. And, you know, as we know that we have started the spoiler-free section, and I know that it's feeling quite a bit small right now, but don't worry. It's gonna get bigger.
It's
I
gonna,
know
don't
it.
worry.
I
It will
know
be,
it.
it's gonna be, I already am having a lot of fun with the spoiler section.
I
So
am
I can't wait
too.
to see, like, once we're in the bulk of the book, I can't wait to see just how
Mm-hmm.
much we're like, but this connected to this back and forth wing and this went to
Mm-hmm.
here. It's like, I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm very excited to connect all of the dots, and it's gonna be so much fun.
It is.
Make
Tune
sure
in
you
next week
guys,
and
I mean, you already started saying it. I was gonna say, make sure you guys tune in next week. Like,
make sure you
follow,
turn.
subscribe, hit all the
Woo!
buttons,
Do all of the things.
do all of
and
the
I
things.
and I guess we have one last question to say to you. What? And I guess the last thing that we want to say to you is, what did the void say to you?